and welcome. My name is Fernando Gutierrez, Head of Trade and Investments at Moody's Analytics. I'm joined by Jasjit Singh, the Executive Director of SelectUSA. Mr. Singh leads the strategy and implementation of SelectUSA mission to facilitate job-creating business investments into the United States. In this position, he raises awareness of the critical role that foreign direct investment and economic development plays in the U.S. economy to create jobs, spur economic growth, and promote American competitiveness. He also oversees the SelectUSA Investment Summit, an annual event where U.S. officials and participating U.S. economic development organizations make the case to global companies that the United States remains the top destination to do business. Welcome, Jasjit. I am also joined by Elizabeth Schaefer, Director of Investment Research at SelectUSA. Ms. Schaefer leads data, evaluation, and analytical work relating to foreign direct investment promotion in the United States. She's also one of the authors of the paper we're going to discuss today. Welcome, Liz. Today, we will discuss the launch of our joint report named Foreign Direct Investment and Intellectual Property Innovation in the United States. This report will be launched during the SelectUSA Summit on the 28th of June. Liz and Jasjit, thank you for joining us. Jasjit, could you tell us more about SelectUSA and what this report is about?
Fernando, thank you for having me. As you alluded to earlier in my introduction, SelectUSA is a U.S. government program led by the Department of Commerce that focuses on facilitating job creating business investment into the United States and raising awareness of the critical role that economic development plays in the U.S. economy. To accomplish this, we directly serve two types of clients: investors and U.S. economic development organizations, otherwise known as EDOs. SelectUSA organizes events, provides data and counseling, and helps clients navigate the U.S. federal system to support both investors and EDOs. And I'm happy to report that since our inception, SelectUSA has facilitated more than $105 billion in investments supporting over 138,000 client-verified U.S. jobs. Now, about the report. First, we want to commend the work subject matter experts from Bureau van Dijk and SelectUSA produce, which provides thorough and novel research on intellectual property and FDI. This report shows us the U.S. is the top destination for the world's most innovative international investors. We see the average value of patents filed in the U.S. by top multinational investors are worth almost twice those filed somewhere else. That's a striking result, which helps to explain why so many companies are eager to invest in the United States.
Liz, building on what Jasjit said, can you please dive deeper into some of the results in the report?
Thanks, Fernando, for having me. It was a privilege to collaborate with subject matter experts from Bureau van Dijk to get insight into the intersection of FDI and intellectual property in the United States. This report ties FDI and IP observations together, so we have a novel, evidence-based look into what intellectual property profiles are for top investors in the U.S. This isn't something we've been able to see before, and the results are pretty exciting. Digging in a little bit deeper, this report shows that for the covered time period of the analysis, from January 2013 to December 2018, the U.S. is the number one destination amongst the top 1,000 global multinationals with patents. As Jasjit mentioned from the top, this evidence quantitatively demonstrates that the U.S. is the top destination for the world's most innovative FDI. This report also narrows in on the IP profile of the top 100 foreign investors in the U.S. over the covered time period. These top 100 foreign investors were extremely active. They engaged in over 1,000 individual FDI projects and submitted over 308,000 patent filings. The sectoral diversity of these investments from a capital and intellectual property perspective is remarkable. These companies elected to do business and innovate in virtually all sectors of the U.S. economy. The report also shows that IP in the U.S. is especially valuable. From these top 100 innovators, we see that the average value of a single U.S. patent is around $136,000, nearly 1.8 times larger than the average patent value in non-U.S. destinations. We also had a chance to see how IP from these top 100 innovative investors performed over time. looking at 4 measures of IP performance: IP quality, IP relevance, IP market attractiveness, and IP technical quality. These 4 measures increase an average of 7 to 23% across the given indicators over time. This shows that IP assets from the most innovative multinationals thrive and get even more desirable once they're here in the United States.
Thanks, Liz. And what do you think is driving some of these results, and what is the impact?
We have long known that FDI in the US is R&D intensive, and that FDI has an outsized impact on the US innovation economy. According to the latest available Bureau of Economic Analysis data, while FDI accounts for 6% of total private sector employment and 7% of private US business sector value add, it also accounts for nearly 16% of US business research and development. This report shows that there's also a high level of IP activity performed by the most active and innovative investors. I suspect the drivers are likely due to a combination of US advantages in specific technologies, high quality patent examination standards, successful track record for rights enforcement, historical success in patent commercialization, and the general US position as a key market. Investors really care about protecting their intellectual property when making investment decisions. So we see this in independent surveys. A.T. Kearney's FDI Confidence Index consistently finds that the strength of a country's investor and property rights regime, as well as the efficiency of legal and regulatory processes, are in the top 10 factors that companies consider when choosing where to place their FDI. The United States was ranked number 1 in this independent survey for the 10th year in a row, I'm happy to report. So simply put, when companies are confident that their intellectual capital will be protected in a particular market, they're more likely to file for patent protections there. The impact overall is a net benefit for US communities and international companies. When multinationals can thrive and contribute to innovation ecosystems, that helps maintain the US's overall economic competitiveness, which ultimately contributes to more resilient and higher paying US jobs. Overall, it's a great win-win.
Thanks again, Liz. Coming back to Jasjit, what excites you the most about the report, and what would you like to say to firms looking to come to the United States?
There are many reasons why firms may establish a presence in the United States. From deep capital markets to a well-educated labor force, the US market offers significant opportunities for foreign investors. This report provides additional reasons for investors to head to the United States. Bottom line is that the robust set of intellectual property protections and innovative domestic market in the United States allow top global multinationals to thrive in the United States. The numbers in this report show not only tremendous IP activity, but also IP growth that benefits companies and ultimately US communities. We are so grateful for our partnership with Bureau van Dijk to get this unique view of how IP performs from the most innovative investors in the United States. Now, to firms of any size interested in coming to the United States, I would say that our innovation ecosystem, including robust patent protections, make anything possible. We welcome and encourage innovative investment here in the United States and are happy to support your investment journey. Thank you for the interview, and we look forward to working with international investors looking to come to the United States.
Thanks for having me as well.
Thank you for taking the time to speak to us about foreign direct investment and intellectual property innovation in the United States. It was wonderful hearing about the analysis of FDI data and patents using data provided by Orbis Cross-Border Investment and Orbis Intellectual Property. To our audience, you can access the report on social media and on our websites, bbdinfo.com and trade.gov/SelectUSA. Thanks and have a nice day.